So today's agenda is we'll be looking into the overview of cash management. Then we'll be seeing how the cash management integrates with other modules or options, and we'll look into even the prerequisites of cash management, and we'll see what parse rule is. Right. So let's start. Okay. See, Oracle cash management is an open integrated solution for managing your company or enterprise companies wide cash cycle basically. So in addition to integrating with other options or modules from the Oracle Fusion, the Oracle cash management's open interfaces allow the company to easily integrate with external systems, okay, and giving timely access to cash information. So companies, those practicing and are into preparing of cash forecast, they can project cash flows from Oracle general ledger, and Oracle receivables, Oracle payables, Oracle payroll, Oracle projects, and Oracle purchasing. So the forecasting open interface allows you to also project cash flows from external systems with the forecasting open interfaces distribute database support, okay, in the cash management. So you can generate a forecast that combines all your relevant transaction information from both your local and your remote databases, which may be across regions. So Oracle cash management lets you automatically or manually record and reconcile bank statements, matching against system transactions using rules and tolerance levels. So basically tolerance meaning it allows, it permits, or it's kind of an acceptance of an action. So you define tolerance tools which enables you to specify a date and amount tolerances that prevent or warn you when reconciliation would be a breach meaning act of breaking an agreement, right? So as I said, tolerance level has two types of tolerances, which is the amount tolerance and the date tolerance. So amount tolerance are most often used when reconciling foreign currency transactions, where there may be differences due to rounding or fluctuations in the conversion rates. So or they can also be used if a bank includes a processing fee in the bank statement line amount. So you'll be during the setup, you'll be like giving all these tolerance levels. You'll be mentioning, okay, fine, during the conversions, these are the amount tolerances that will be that will do a check in the system. Then you'll have this date tolerance. Date tolerances are primarily used for checks, that may be issued. So these are all your rules. During your setup, you define the rules and tolerance levels in the cash management, right? Okay, so you can even review and correct any import validation or reconciliation error lines. So Oracle cash management can automatically reconcile correcting statement lines against error statement lines and provide an audit trail. What is an audit trail? Basically, audit trail is a record of the changes that have been made to a database or a file. Okay, so it automatically, provides an audit trail for verifying correction of bank errors. Like a business purchase, when you do a business purchase, each documented step taken makes the audit trail. So it's basically a record of each and every event that is, happening in your transaction. So that is what is called your audit trail. So Oracle Cash Management supports electronically downloading of a bank statements from the bank. So the bank statement loader program supports standard formats like your BAI2. BAI2 meaning it is the Bank Administration Institute. Okay, it is a file format basically for performing electronic cash management balance reporting. Okay, so I'll just show you how the format looks like. See, this is how your BAI format looks like. It's all coded basically. So in your interface, these are the formats which will be, put, and all the information will be retrieved as per that. This is just an idea how to, how it looks, BAI file text. And you even have your Swift 940. Swift is basically, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Swift 940 is also called as international wires. Okay, these are basically a type of international transfer sent via the international payment network. So MT940 is a format used by Swift network to send and receive end of day bank account statements. So MT940 is the Swift standard for the electronic transmission of account statement data. So MT meaning, it means message type. And then you have your EDIFACT. Okay, EDIFACT is nothing but the abbreviation of electronic data interchange for administration, commerce, and transport. So it is a global set of rules which is defined by the UN, okay, for the intercompany electronic data exchange between two or more business practitioners via your electronic data interchange. And you have your XML, which is called the extensible markup language. This is a markup language that defines a set of rules for encoding documents in a format that is both human readable and machine readable. So basically, I just wanted to give you an idea as to how all these, format types look like. So these are the format types which are used by, the bank interface, wherein you'll be loading you'll be loading the bank statements through these formats, right? Okay, so bank statements are then reconciled with payments in Oracle payables, and Oracle payroll receipts in Oracle receivables, and journal entries in Oracle General Ledger. So you can also reconcile with payments and receipts from other systems, including settlement from Oracle Treasury, you using the reconciliation open interface, right? So this is basically how, the cash management process flows throughout. Yeah, ma'am, any doubt here? Chitra, ma'am?
No doubt.
Okay, ma'am, I'll go to the next slide. Okay. Okay, so here, how does Oracle cash management integrates with other modules? So cash management mainly deals with loading of bank statements. Okay, and the system will initiate a matching process that can be, automatic or manual, that matches the lines in the bank statement versus transactions in the payables. One second. Versus the transaction in the payables, receivables, and payroll modules or options. So for the payroll modules or options, those transactions are payments made to the employees of your organization, right? And for receivables, it will be, looking at customer payments, money that has been deposited in the bank account. The process is like, you sold services or products to your customer, then you send a bill, after which the customer pays the bill, then the money is deposited into the bank. So now you want to ensure that those customer payments or customer payment batches in receivables against bank statement lines are reconciled, right? So, and for the payables option, you're going to, be reconciling against payments that you have made to your suppliers. So those payment transactions are found in the payable options or modules. So this is also the, there's also the ability to load external entry transactions such as, bank charges or bank account transfers or interest, fees, etc. These external entry transactions are needed to be accounted and pushed to your general ledger. So you will have to, run the program which is called as a bank statement transaction creation once your previous activities are finished. So after running the bank statement transaction creation, this is basically used to generate accounting information for the transactions and create a journal entry. Then you transfer it to the general ledger. Now, see, there is a new feature that gives the ability to automatically reconcile against a GL journal. See, in prior releases, like in the EBS R12, you could only reconcile to AP AR, and payroll. But in certain situations you can load in Fusion, like in certain situations you can load information straight into GL, and then you can reconcile that information against a bank statement. Say for an example of this would be that the organization might do its payroll outside of Oracle from a third party payroll application. Okay, it might not opt for an payroll from Oracle, but it will opt outside Oracle from a third party payroll application such as ADP. Now, ADP stands for Automatic Data Processing, INC. ADP basically is a global business outsourcing services provider, which is headquartered in New Jersey. So what you do is you can load your payroll transactions directly in the form of journal entries to GL. Then you can reconcile against it in your GL itself, right? So this is a new feature which has been offered in your Fusion, which was not available in your previous releases and your EBS. Okay, so this is how basically your auto reconciliation works. And I think Sir had taken about bank reconciliation, how the whole process works about it. And I'll be talking about this parse rule set and all this, in the coming slides as to what it means and all that. So ma'am, basically your Shankar sir, you just joined just now, right? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. I
Yeah,
joined it
yeah.
before this
Okay,
integration.
before, okay, fine, fine. So, sir, today we're just discussing about what cash management is all about,
Okay,
and
ma'am.
this was a process. So, ma'am, you're through. You're okay with the. You understood how the whole process goes about, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
It's
Okay,
okay.
okay,
I'll just review once again, ma'am, after
okay,
the.
okay. Fine, fine, ma'am. Fine. Okay, no problem. So, I'll move to the next slide. Okay. So, what are the prerequisites of cash management? I think talked about these prerequisites of bank branch, and bank account in one. I think in the AP module as well. Okay, so I'll just brush upon what it means. So, see, one of the main configurations for cash management is that you have to define your banks and your bank branch information and the actual bank accounts. So the bank and the branch information is your tables where the account is stored in cash management tables, right? So you specify which modules or options like payables, receivables, and payroll are going to use a bank account. Okay, so you can in fact it can be done by one or two or all three modules. I mean, you can create the bank or bank branch and bank account information using the rapid implementation process or manually from the application. So ma'am, you're aware of what rapid implementation is, right? I think sir had talked about it, discussed about it.
No, no, ma'am. I missed the class, ma'am, so I
Okay,
didn't.
ma'am. Ma'am, basically, see, rapid implementation is a way, to configure your financial enterprise and financial reporting structures quickly and effectively by using, sheets in a predefined Excel workbook. Okay, so
Okay.
the Excel workbook will upload all your lists of companies, legal entities, etc. So you put everything in your Excel sheet and you upload it into your system, and automatically everything is done. Like we don't go and defining each and every setup the way we did, no. That is basically the difference between a rapid implementation and your normal course of setting up a enterprise structure and all that,
If
right?
I have one doubt, ma'am. If we are
Yes.
going to implement this in one company,
Yeah.
we for that only you are telling we don't have to
Correct.
initiate all the everything. We
No,
can
ma'am. It is
directly
correct.
import the details into our system. That's it, no, ma'am.
Correct, ma'am. Correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it is in a quicker way that you will be, doing it. That is the reason why it has been called as rapid implementation.
Okay,
All
fine.
those important, factors, the segments, and everything will be, done in a quicker way.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. So that is what it is. Yeah. So these are basically, and the trading community model, ma'am. Do you remember I had spoken about it once? Even you had even asked about it, what it means. Any
Trading
idea? Do you
company.
remember? Do you remember?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay,
Sorry.
no problem, ma'am. So see, basically, there's something called as TCA, which is a trading community architecture. Okay, so under which this trading community model comes in. TCA is TCA or TCM is basically a data model, that allows you to manage all your complex information about your parties or customers, or who belong to your commercial communities, including organizations and locations. So basically all with whomever you're dealing in your business, all that
Okay.
data can be obtained from your TCA model. Okay, so that
Okay.
is
Okay.
basically what it is. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll just move to the next slide. So here we'll just see how the cash management works. So this is your ERP Cloud Fusion cash management, where how you process your bank statements. So ideally we process our customer payments, funds disbursements and payroll electronically with banks, as the entity. Bank is an entity for us, okay, which receives and sends the money, and with that the bank will send a bank statement to our organization. So a bank statement can be in electronic format, or it can be printed as you receive it in the mail, right? So if the bank statement was electronic, then it automatically gets loaded to cash management. Okay, so you have two options wherein you automatically can load electronic bank statements, okay, which will use your URL or your protocol, and it will finally process your electronic bank statements. Then you can even manually load your electronic bank statements, wherein you import the file, okay, into your web center. You basically use the bank file statement and you submit it, you load it, import it, and it goes into the process. And this process has three phases, wherein fetch phase you will be like importing the file formats. I spoke about those file formats, and I showed you also how it
Yeah. 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 Yeah,
PAI
ma'am.
and ISO, Swift and EDIFACT. And then you have this basically your balance code and code map group. Now see, a balance code is basically uh, it uniquely defines the type of balance of balances of opening booked, this OP, if you can see here, OPBD, and CLBD is basically the opening balance or the
Closing balance. Close
correct,
opening
ma'am. So you're
balance.
aware of it,
Closing
ma'am?
balance.
Yeah,
Yeah, ma'am.
you're aware of it, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
basically it's the opening balances for the following business day. So that is your, and you uniquely have those codes for those balances. And the code map group is basically you use the code map groups for mapping the balance codes that are reported on the external data file to the ones that are defined internally in the application. Okay, and okay, so with the help of all this, you'll store the statement file inside the database. Then you load it to map the field file to your interface tables. So this will all have and you validate and you transform data errors, which will have your bank accounts and the pass rule set, which I'll be just explaining it in the next slide. And your transaction type is what kind of a transaction type that you'll be using. Either you'll be using the check, or
Yeah.
EFT is your electronic fund transfer, and ACH is your automated clearing house. You're aware of what EFT?
Automated clearing house, no?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Basically, see, EFT, we all know it is a process of electronically
Electronic fund transfer. That's
moving
exactly.
funds from one bank account directly to another without any involvement of bank employees. So EFT is basically a broad umbrella, okay, that includes many types of electronic payments such as ACH. Okay, so ACH is also a kind of an EFT only. Basically it depends on different fields, like certain information is given in a particular a transaction. So that is how your EFT, as ACH comes under EFT. ACH I think is being managed by a company. I'm not too sure about which company it is, but ACH comes under EFT itself, ma'am. It is a kind of an electronic
Okay.
fund transfer itself. Okay, and then you have your transaction code. See, transaction code is basically you have a code for each bank transaction. Okay, so you must define a transaction code for each type of payment. So as we give our codes for our segments, right? You remember we have these balance segments and all that, and we actually give, it's a code combination, right? Like for company we give a code, for for different accounts we give a code combination. Same thing for transaction also, you need to give a code. right? So all this information will be loaded here, and finally your bank statements get processed.
Okay.
This is basically the how the whole bank statement processing happens, right? So any doubts here, ma'am?
No, 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 ma'am. You can proceed.
Shankar sir,
No, ma'am.
okay, fine, fine. So let's look into what parse rule is. See, parsing rules or the instructions, which tell the system how to extract data out of a bank statement for reconciliation purposes, and then creating rules so that you can account for interest and bank fees, etc. So basically, see, Oracle Fusion Cache Management supports, parse rule sets to transform data during the bank statement import process. Right. So parse rules are used to move data from one field to another. So the parse rule set is associated to a bank account in the bank account setup. All right. So you'll see that during the cache management that the practicals that we'll be doing. So the parse rule set is most commonly used to parse data. Parse meaning what does a parse in a general term means? Is basically to break down something, to break something down. So the parse rule set, is used to parse data from the statement line, uh, right? Uh, Statement line addenda. Okay, there is something called as addenda field. Okay, in the cache management. So addendum basically is a document which is used to make further specifications to a contract. Okay, like say, for example, an addendum may change a payment schedule and specify the amount of the payment. Okay, so these are basically your banking terminologies, ma'am, like addenda and all that. So basically, you're setting a rule, as to how, your cash management process should, set the rules for your bank statements and for your payments, basically. Okay, so each parse rule within a parse rule set consists of these, what do you say, the rules, like the sequence. See, the sequence determines the order in which to process the rules. Then you have your transaction code, which determines the statement line type. Then you have your source field. Okay, this is the basically the interface table field that contains the data to be parsed. How you're how you're taking the information from your source field. Okay, so we have to mention all this during the setup. Then you have your target field. This is the statement line field that the data is to be parsed to. Then you have your rule, okay, which contains the syntax for determining the data within the source field to be parsed. Then you have overwrite. This is used to control whether to overwrite existing data in a target field or skip parsing the data. So basically, see, the parse rule syntax is described in the following, which is like literal, the bracket and less than. This is basically, how the system takes in the information. So where literal represents a string or character value represented by an identifier that should match the source data exactly. Then you have your matching token, which represents a token or set of tokens, which describes uh, the data to extract. So there is a table, which shows the valid tokens. I'll just show you. So yeah, this is how the valid tokens with their descriptions. N means extract a valid number. Then there's a decimal position. Then X means your extract an alphanumeric, and this is called as tilde. Basically, you can see this sign under your escape button on your keyboard. Okay, so this is basically a spacing character. Okay, tilde, it's called as tilde. So you extract everything in the source field from the parse position to either the end of the data or up to the next literal, right? And this is start. This is basically a position to begin extracting data offset by the parse position. So it must be a valid numeric. So basically these are all technical, ma'am. I just wanted to, because they'll definitely ask like what parse rule is. So I just wanted to show how the whole thing works. Okay, so let us see an example how, using this table tokens, let us read the descriptions about it. So basically see there is a description of extract check number from a source field. So there's an account number, source data is account number 1005. Now you give a parse rule saying, X tilde, and your target data is 1005. So you basically, extract everything in the source field from the parse position to either the end of the data or up to the next literal. And this is your target data, which is your account, number, extract, and alphanumeric. So this is your target data. So you will be getting all the data regarding this particular account number. Okay, let's look into another example, which is extract value date from a source field. So they have given the date, like 1/1/2011, and the receipt. So this is a rule that you're putting in, and your target data is the particular transaction or the receipt that has been created on that particular date. So you need the information from your source data of that particular receipts that has been created on 1st January 2011. Right, so this is how your parse rule, affects your bank statement process in your cash management. Right, ma'am. So this is the basic thing of cash management. And if you have any doubts, please let me know. I think this is pretty understandable.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing much in it. So I think we'll be covering, sir, we'll be covering cash management in AR itself. How is it, sir?
Yeah, in AR itself we will be.
Yeah, sir. Sir, anything that you want to add here?
Ma'am, they know that manual bank reconciliation, how they do. They will be knowing, no, ma'am. Chitra ma'am will be knowing.
Yes, sir, their account background, no, sir. So I didn't actually take. Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, you just give an overview of that thing, ma'am. It has been a while for me.
Yeah, sir, you had that bank reconciliation statement, sir.
Only that Excel I will show them.
Okay, sir, I'll allow you to share the screen. 1 second. Yeah.
Just I will show them how
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure. I'll just allow you to. Yeah. Sure. So you can share the screen, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the ma'am. Can you able to see the screen, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is usually this is the transactions happened from 2nd August to 15th August. Okay.
Okay, sir.
For example, it's a Buddy trading company. In this, from 2nd August to 15th August, some transactions happened. So we have received a check from Narayanan Trading Company. Okay. And similarly, check issued to Kannan and Co. Check issued to Raman and Co. And cash withdrawn from bank for petty cash expenses. Amount transferred to Shankar Associates. Amount transferred to Visakan. Salary transfer. Check received from Dayalan. Check issued for GST payment. Check issued to Somu Enterprises. Okay. So these are all the transactions that happened. Okay. So in bank book of Buddy Trading, HDFC Bank, they are having an account. Assume that they are having an account in HDFC Bank. They will account in their books. Check received from Narayanan and Trading Company. So bank account data to Narayanan Trading Company. So voucher number 200 date. Like that, it is come in the debit side. Check issued to Kannan by Kannan account. That is Kannan to bank. Okay. So vendor to bank. So it goes to credit. Like that. Similarly, check issued to Raman and Co. So by Raman and Co. Okay. So opening balance is 3 lakh, out of which Narayan Trading Company, from Narayan Trading Company, we received 7 lakh, 10 lakh. By Kannan, credit 50,000 issued to Kannan. It reduced to 9 lakh 50. Raman and Co. 8 lakh 80. And cash withdrawn from for petty cash expenses. Okay, cash withdrawn. So 50,000 rupees. So it got reduced from our bank book by Sankar Associates. That is RTGS done. So like this, it will be accounted in the buddy trading of HDFC Bank. Okay. Now we are getting, so we are going to do a reconciliation of a bank statement. We are going to do a bank receipt. That is, we are going to match with our books with the bank statement. It has to be reconciled. So we have to find unreconciled items, which are all not credited. We might be we might have issued check, but it not got debited in our bank account. We might have received check, which we have deposited. It might not got credited in our bank account. But we have accounted, but they have not given credit to us. Bank has not given credit to us. For that and all, we have to find the unreconciled item. See, for example, see, this is the bank book of buddy trading, and this is HDFC bank statement. Okay. Now, the manual like that is, first what we will do, we will receive this statement from the HDFC bank, and in the system what we will do, we will first enter the opening balance. Opening balance 3 lakh, closing balance 16 lakh 50,000, we will enter it. Okay. See, we have already have the entries in our bank book. Okay. Now this is as per system. Now we have to receive after receiving the bank statement, a separate screen will be there. It allows you to enter the bank statement. So opening balance 3 lakh, closing balance 16 lakh 50,000. First step that has to be entered. Next step, what we have to do, it allows you to enter the transactions one by one. This is called manual. Just now ma'am told no how to manual transaction, entering the manual transaction. This way, date and description, check number, date and all the fields are there. So accordingly we have to enter. Suppose credit means in credit side it has to be entered, and debit side means debit side it has to be entered. Like that, these details are similarly what the bank has given, same data we have to enter it. Okay, so this has to be entered. Once entered, these two screens will appear simultaneously. The two screens will appear. Now what we have to do, we have to match with the bank statement and the bank book. Manual bank statement with the bank book. So now we are going to match. See, Narayan Trading Company, in our book 7 lakh rupees. Whereas in that credit, in bank statement, it got credit because we have received the check. So it is 7 lakh. Okay. Now similarly, 50,000. So similarly, this is 50,000. 50,000. So check issued, debited in the bank statement. Okay, it got matched. Check number is matching. Okay. Now similarly, this is 70,000. Check issued to Raman. 70,000. Similarly, cash withdrawn. Okay, it got in our books it is in credit side. In the bank it is in debit. So matched. Okay. So the same way date, same way RTGS 20,000. Okay, 20,000. Okay. Now similarly 10,000 by Visakan and Co. Okay, 10,000. Similarly 10,000. Okay. 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 Now it got matched. Now salary.
Sir, I think sorry to interrupt you, sir. This is, I think we just left with 1 minute, sir. Might get
okay.
the class might